Hello lovely people and welcome to Amaze Me Stays, where we want to make travel magical. Here's our video about what to do in Milan, including full details of how to make the most of a 48-hour visit to this very stylish city. Located in the Northern Lombardy region of Italy, Milan is the global capital of design and fashion. If you had to think of a city that combines the perfect mix of culture, stunning architecture and art, add a sprinkling of delicious food and drink that the Italians do so well, then you have Milan. Of course, there are many videos about what to do in Milan, so in addition we've also included some off-the-beaten-track restaurants, a laid-back live music venue, and a really cool form of transport which is a perfect introduction to Milan and guaranteed to make you smile. So what are you waiting for? Let's go! Oh, and if you like what we're doing, then please subscribe to our channel or hit the thumbs up button. Thank you. We took the train from the Swiss Alps into Italy, which took about 4¼ hours, with wonderful views around Lake Maggiore before arriving at Central Station in Milan. We chose seats on the left-hand side going and on the right-hand side returning to get the best views of Lake Maggiore. It was an early start, but meant we could maximise our time in Milan. We do like a train journey as there's always something to see. As cities go, Milan is quite small, with a population of around 1.3 million, so you can walk around the central area and use the metro quite easily. The trams are even better, as you can still see the city as you travel around. You can buy tickets which cover underground trains, buses and trams in the underground stations or at the newsagents. Taxis are fine as well, but you can get caught up in traffic at busier times. We used taxis when we were returning late at night after a busy day. Whether you have a budget or you want to blow your budget, Milan has accommodation to suit, so you can choose the best place for you. This time we wanted to be in a central location and chose Milan Royal Suites for our 2-night stay. You can save so much travel time by choosing a central location, which makes sense when you're only there for 48 hours. Our 1-bedroom apartment was tastefully decorated with a modern bathroom and a small kitchen, and perfect for a short stay. There are other hotels such as Panzera in the trendy district of Brera, which would be on our list as well. We were able to check in a bit earlier, which was great, but you can leave your luggage and get straight out to explore. Sometimes it's nice just to have a bit of a walkabout to get a real feel for your surroundings. This city oozes style. I mean, only in Milan can they make rolls of fabric in a shop window look fabulous. And there's always someone being photographed in beautiful clothes. We stumbled across a traditional restaurant where they serve delicious pasta, followed by a strong espresso. You don't have to walk far before you realise that the Milanese never go hungry, as there are cakes and cannoli galore on pretty much every street corner. From the minute we saw the car, which as you can see was immaculate and polished to within an inch of its life, well, we just couldn't stop smiling. And having a tour in such an iconic car was a brilliant introduction to Milan. We chose a fast tour of the city. And before you get too excited, that isn't the speed you drive, but it refers to the length of the tour. We went for the 30-minute option, though there are several longer durations offering a more in-depth tour, which also looked great. The weather was fabulous, so we could enjoy the tour with the sunroof open, giving a much better view of all the buildings and places of interest we saw. So many people waved at us in the car and took photos of the car. It was a very special experience. Luca was our driver and guide, who was warm and friendly with immense knowledge of the city. A great piece of advice Luca gave us was to always look through the archways off the main streets, as you can see some wonderful courtyards behind the grand facades of the buildings. We walked back to the apartment and had time for a rest before heading out for the evening. We headed to the Navigli Canal area, famous for aperitivo and where the locals come to relax after work. As soon as we arrived, we were impressed by the lively atmosphere, even on a Tuesday evening. We had drinks in Zorg, which had a chilled vibe. We walked past the old laundry area where the people of Milan used to do their washing by the canal. If you've watched other videos on our channel, you may have noticed that we do enjoy a gin and tea. So imagine our delight when we walked into this lovely gin bar. I like the way the drinks menu was divided into gin styles as well. We had dinner in Brugande, which means the launderer, as it's close to the old laundry place we saw earlier. This restaurant was effortlessly stylish. I mean, only in Milan can they make even bread look so appealing. The food was an inspiration. Head to the quieter streets and you'll find great breakfast places for a quick coffee and pastry to set you up for the morning. It's a 5-minute walk from our apartment to the stunning Duomo Cathedral, and as you can see, even at 9 in the morning, it's starting to get busy. We booked our tickets for entrance into the cathedral and lift up to the rooftop online, so we didn't need to queue. It saved a lot of time, so we'd recommend you do this. From the lift, you make your way to the rooftop using a short flight of very old stairs. Seeing the wear on the stairs just reminds you how old this cathedral is. And when you get outside, the view of the many spires and the intricate sculptures is breathtaking. You can see the square below. Then after taking in the 360-degree views, we make our way down the stairs to the cathedral interior, which is equally impressive with its gigantic pillars, cavernous interior, and colourful stained glass windows. Buildings that have been around forever have a tranquility and calmness that is very refreshing in today's fast-paced world. We loved it. Just off the square in front of the cathedral is the entrance to the oldest and most famous shopping area in Milan. We wandered around the Galleria Vittoria Emanuale II, admiring the beautiful shop windows filled with all things designer. It's hard to know where to look first. The stunning glass ceilings, the beautiful tile floors, the shops. It's quite funny watching all the other tourists who are also wandering around looking up and admiring the ceiling as well. All the big names are here: Prada, Dior, Louis Vuitton. There's also the Marchesi patisserie window, which was a delight, celebrating Easter with some intricately decorated eggs. I'm sure that even Vinci would have been proud of the artwork. It's always lovely to use different forms of transport, and the trams in Milan are very special. With many trams dating back to the early 1900s, you step back in time when you step on board. The tram ride was great, then it was a 5-minute walk to Illiberty, a lovely restaurant serving contemporary cuisine with Italian flair. We were tempted by the 5-course tasting menu, and there was a good lunchtime specials menu as well. But after much deliberation, we opted for starters and mains from the à la carte. The starters were delicious, a wonderful mix of flavours and textures that packed a tasty punch. Then for main, the attention to detail continued. We were thoroughly impressed by the inventive food combinations, which were beautifully cooked and presented with style. We finished with an espresso as we had a plan for something sweet. There's only one thing better than an Italian gelateria, and that's an Italian gelateria and chocolate maker. Panzera is just that place, and as luck would have it, just a short walk from the restaurant. We both chose a scoop of pistachio and the dark chocolate. The flavours were exquisite and powerful, but it was the texture of the pistachio ice cream that stole the show. Rich and velvety. My mouth is watering as I'm just talking about it. We walked to the Piazza di Santa Maria del Grazie, and we were very excited. As with all guides, they are worth their weight in gold. Our guide was lovely and gave us lots more information about the work of art. We learned that during the war they created a framework of scaffolding and sandbags to protect Da Vinci's work. It was incredible to learn that although the building was damaged during the war, the painting miraculously was untouched. We only had 15 minutes in the room with the painting, but it was a special thing to do, and our guide talked about the history of how long it took Da Vinci to create, why he chose a new painting technique, not to mention the problems with the building, and why it's a miracle that we can still see it today. As the tour finished, we emerged from the building and were struck by how lovely it looked in the moonlight. When you have a love of music, you always try to seek out a venue to visit. The Blue Note Jazz Club was relaxed and stylish, where we saw Kenny Garrett, a very accomplished alto sax player. He has played with artists such as Miles Davis, Sting, Duke Ellington and Quincy Jones, to name but a few. The atmosphere was wonderful with a cool vibe, and as the lights dimmed, we watched a great gig as we sipped a glass of red wine with a sharing platter of local Italian meats. And as the night came to a close, the club booked us a taxi for the short trip across the city to our apartment. After the previous busy day, we decided to have a lie-in with leisurely time to get ready and check out of the apartment. We left our luggage in the building and would return for it later. The buildings in Brera are characterful, where modern and contemporary would sit happily with the older buildings. Only in Italy can a little courtyard look so stylish. We admired all the little individual shops selling vintage clothes, jewellery, stylish Italian designed furniture, and of course lovely delis selling everything from towers of fresh pasta to savoury top focaccia and the most beautiful cakes and pastries. Brera was a very inspirational place. We had narrowed down our lunch options to about 10. There were so many lovely places. You really are spoiled for choice. We finally decided on a restaurant specialising in seafood. Graham had meat ragu pasta to start, followed by simply cooked crayfish with salad. I had cured salmon and salad, followed by sea bass stuffed ravioli with pan-fried squid and a tiny tomato sauce. Then we walked back to the apartment to collect our luggage and took the metro to the train station for our return trip. We'll just have to do that next time, because we will definitely be back to visit Milan again.